Hey, y'all, buckle up because you're about to enjoy a segment from a Snaps live show, and I'm guessing it's going to be a pretty good time. Enjoy. Greg Byrne. Old Greg, that's what I call him.
Old Greg needs some Saudi money.
He does need some Saudi money, at least according to
money.
Old Greg here. I'm going to read this whole thing. It's a little long, but it's worth reading.
Mm-hmm.
So this is from Greg Byrne, Alabama AD. Quote, Alabama fans, over the past few years, there have been drastic changes in college athletics. We have been careful during this transitional period to protect our position at the top of athletics while being mindful to listen, engage, and learn from our generous supporters, proud alumni, and unrivaled fans to make sure that we protect our great traditions here at Alabama. But there's a time for talk and a time for action. Now is the time for action. Although we have been competitive from an NIL standpoint, our competition has us in their sights and are actively trying to surge ahead with NIL. You have heard examples of other teams using promises of $1 million paydays to lure away our players or convince them not to come to Alabama. It's time for Bama Nation to fight back. Under the new model of college athletics, which is the result of an antitrust lawsuit against the NCAA, a university can succeed if their fans purchase authentic NIL from student athletes. The good news is when Yay Alabama was created last year, that's their streaming service, the focus was on providing our fans with a legitimate product rather than booster inducements. Yay Alabama delivers exclusive content and access you cannot get anywhere else. We have a plan to grow Yay Alabama's offerings with more videos, features, and news in 2025. So please visit to join. A subscription to Yay Alabama isn't about the now. It's about the future. It's about roster retention for future seasons, keeping our legends in crimson. It's about attracting and developing the best recruits in the country to represent the script A. You being a part of the team has never been more important. At Alabama, we've not measured ourselves against our competition. We are the standard, and that measurement is against the mirror. Sorry, that was Greg Byrne sniffing his own farts. And against a rich and proud history. But it's impossible to ignore what is taking place in college athletics. Hungry fan bases are acting decisively to give their respective programs competitive advantages. We must respond. We are Alabama. Join Yay Alabama today. And so look, a few thoughts here off the bat. First off,
you have to do it.
There's a ton of every Auburn. Here's the first Auburn response from Pablo Escobar.
Do you need some money?
I mean, at a time when here's a Georgia fan, I used to pray for times like this with MJ with the hat on. Another Auburn account with Robin Hood from the cartoon shaking the can for coins. So yes, is this poor boy in? Absolutely, very mean. Is it incredibly self-obsessed? Yes. I mean, this reminds you of the South Park episode where all of Hollywood is sniffing their own farts and the smug clouds are threatening to take over the U.S. This is incredibly smug. While I understand what he's saying is look, in the antitrust era, you're still allowed to do legitimate NIL fundraising. Mm-hmm. I think him trying to take some sort of moral high ground by pushing the subscription service instead of just pushing donations. It's kind of like, what the fuck, dude? Just ask for money. And then once the antitrust settlement comes in, then tell people to subscribe. But whatever.
No. Why not just get that over with now? You know that's coming down the line.
Because you can also just ask for money right now.
This is essentially asking for money. What's the difference?
I guess the difference is
to me, it's an easier way to doing it because you're feeling like you're giving them something.
The difference is I believe that they're trying to be a little holier than thou in all of this.
Yeah, but the model is what they believe is going to work and at least give them something. What makes money? What drives revenue in college sports? Media. These media deals are massive, absolutely massive. So what they're trying to do is create an in-house media and then get money off that to essentially generate more revenue for the players through subscriptions. I mean, Yes, it sounds desperate, but this is their job. This is the name of the game nowadays. Name an AD that's not going out there saying the same thing.
I'm not saying it's. So we're getting that. I'm not saying that the subscription service is desperate. I'm just saying, just be like, hey, we need money, and right now you can still just straight up donate. So just pour money, whatever. So okay, you don't agree
donation though. Like this is their bucket.
That's fine. The other, I mean, I also don't enjoy the. You've heard other examples of you've heard examples of other teams using promises of $1 million paydays to lure away our players. When like, didn't they just pay Keon Saab however many months ago, like nearly $1 million to go to? So like, whatever, everybody's doing it. All this said, I am loving shitting on Burn. I'm loving shitting on Bam. I'm loving having fun at the memes. But the bigger question is, will this work? And I think it will. What may not, what we're gonna learn is how about it is this Alabama fan base, because this is not a fan base that has suffered as of yet. And so sometimes suffering incentivizes action. In fact, Aaron, I mean, Brian Kelly got out here, did this same poor boy dance a couple weeks ago on National Signing Day. He did and said, well, I'm going to put my money where my mouth is. And he's now, we talked about, he's got $1 million match for every $1 million in new money that comes into LSU. He is matching with a donation for facilities and rev share and everything. After he did that, an anonymous donor came in with $1 million match of his own. Now, what's fascinating about this is since that moment, LSU is flush. LSU's grassroots fundraising is now on par with Ole Miss. They have money to burn. In the last 3 weeks in a row, they have had astronomical amounts of money coming in. I didn't think grassroots could work at a school like LSU, but it turns out a combination of losing Bryce Underwood, making you insecure, going 8-4, seeing that the teams that spend money are the ones that are winning, seems to have catalyzed this LSU fan base into action.
But my worry is that that's still not sustainable.
Has Alabama suffered enough for this to get put into action?
Yeah, but I mean, this isn't the first time that Alabama has gone to the table and said, we need money. Nick Saban did the same thing. What is it, 12, 24 months ago?
So
he told Alabama fans.
So you're saying it's not enough, because if it didn't work then why would it work now?
But they were winning then. I think now it's like, okay.
We're going to see.
We really do need it because we don't have Nick Saban. We've now gone 2 years. When's the last time Alabama won a national championship? 2020? It's been 4 years.
Oh, wow. Yeah, not since the pandemic, maybe? Yeah, are we right?
Yeah. Yeah, because Georgia won 21-22, then Michigan won last year. And they're not in the 12-team playoff. So this is as when it comes to Alabama standard, I would say this is as desperate as it gets. So the cry for help, the cry for money, the cry for we need more money, dollars and cents, like this is the time to do it.
I would say this. I do think this is actually going to work. I think Alabama is going to make a ton.
But is it sustainable? Same thing for LSU. And this is why I hate.
It doesn't fucking matter
where we're at. Yeah, it does fucking matter. I think it's this. So it's great for a year. You think that you're going to raise the same kind of money the following year? I'm just saying, as a whole, right now, this entire way of doing it is not sustainable.
It's like any other thing in college football right now. You just cross that bridge when you get there. If you're going to tell me, am I worried? Like, let's say I made $7 million the last 3 weeks, like as a collective. Am I going to sit here and say, is this sustainable? Or am I going to sit here and just fucking pay the players and go get players out the portal? I'm going to fucking send it and spend it, baby.
Yeah, you have to. No, I agree with it.
Cross that bridge when it comes there.
I know.
Again, we talked about the invisible hand. The market is deciding for itself and will continue to do so. So but it
will get better though. Yes, and I will say when the $13.5 million, so was in like $20 million.
I heard $15 million is actually the number going to football.
Okay, 13, 15, whatever the number is. I was told 13.5. Does it matter? Everyone in the SEC is going to get the same amount. They're coming to an agreement that, hey, football will be allocated this amount of money for every university within our conference. that will ease some of the on the knees, begging, massaging, asking the same donors for money over and over again.
Again, in theory, remember Ross Dellinger's report. There's already been multiple congressmen who have sent letters to the respective universities.
No. There's a delta that needs to be changed. I've talked
boosters from giving money that it's against state law. Like
I'm not saying it's not going to happen. Once again, I'm not saying that like, oh my God, just because there's $15 million that no money is going to be needed. There is still talking with you. There is still, they believe $4 to $6 million separate from the salary cap that they need to still raise to be competitive year in and year out. That's not going away. I just don't think you're going to need to raise $20 million on top of the 15.
But what if you can raise 20?
Yeah.
Because that's the question. Because if you can, you likely will. Like you'll do your best too. And so if Georgia's going to sit there at 5 or 6 million and Texas says, well, we'll raise 10, where does it end?
$25 million roster, $35 million roster, $40 million roster.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Somebody was asking, is LSU not spending while they went 8-4 this year? John Glasgow, he says it was lack of money the reason when LSU went 8-4. Whether or not you agree, I would say that a lot of LSU believes that. Yes, they had $5 million put into this roster. And when you look around the country, look at the teams that won the most, and they all had significantly more money for the most part put into their respective rosters. So whether that's fair, whether or not you agree, I'm not really offering an opinion on it, except to say that I think that yes, a lot of LSU leadership does think that a lack of investment got them into trouble this year. And that's why you see him going all in on
There's no doubt about it
right now.
No doubt about it.
All right.
Good for Brian Kelly, though. Good for Brian Kelly. So
for Greg Byrne, this is gonna. It's what he got to do. It's gonna.
But do you not think Alabama fans were clowning LSU for their moves to do the same exact thing? Like, what's the difference?
Oh, nothing. But if somebody comes out acting like a poor boy, you have to make fun of them. So that's what we do. The second we stop doing that, then we've stopped hating each other. And the second we stop hating each other, then what are we doing this all for? Right? Like the whole point is to let's see. What did Conan say?
What a world we live in.
You ever seen this, Aaron, from Conan the Barbarian? In terms of why are we doing this? Here, let's let Arnold Schwarzenegger weigh in on what is best.
Give me Arnold.
This is good, but what is best in life? The open steppe, free thoughts, falcons at your wrist, and wind in your hair. Wrong! Conan, what is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and to hear the lamentation of your women.
Oh, yes, dude. That's how I feel about the SEC. What is best in life? To crush your enemies, see them driven before you, and hear the lamentation of their women. How good is it when you see the girls in the stands doing the surrender cobra, right? I want to salt their fields. I want to steal their kids. I want to eat their fucking cows, Aaron Murray. Know that shit.
I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it.
People about money they don't actually have is crazy. Says John, I'm not talking about in real life, dude. You don't make fun of an individual for being poor. I'm talking about like these giant fucking colleges. I don't give a shit about making jokes at their expense.
These universities that are worth, which I just talked about before, the ones we're talking about are worth $900 million plus to $1.1 billion. Bro, out here begging for money from their donors.
Have you ever heard about the Stanford endowment or the Princeton endowment?
Oh, it's crazy.
Stanford's endowment as of August 31st, 2023 is $36.5 billion. They literally their entire operational budget can be funded by the interest off their endowment. They are printing money and sitting on it like Smog the fucking dragon. Fuck Stanford. Fuck Princeton.
Oh, God, I should have gone to Stanford.
Dodger says, don't complain about extra fees on tickets, y'all. Hey, market gonna market, you know?
Yeah.
Um,
If you're going to keep going to games, they're going to keep freaking up in the ante. Tennessee. I want to know Tennessee, like what their ticket sales are. Because you remember when they raised it, 20% to pay
10%.
for NIL funds?
10%.
Okay.
How do you play? Good number, 10%. It's like another sales tax. That's how you sell it. Oh, well, I'd say that was informative and fun. If you agree, please hit the like button, sub, and we'll see you next time for some more snaps.